explain what's going on here in this speed run for Mother Russia Bleeds on easy. First, I chose Ivan because he's a beast. I'm just kidding. But he is in a way because he may be slow moving, but he has a lot of advantages that the other ones don't. His arms are really long, which give you a long range. It makes it easier to kill enemies. And most enemies cannot reach you before you start hitting them if you're punching. So here I'm activating the Necro and trying to group the enemies so I kind of hit them as in the smallest groups as possible, or largest groups. When he does that massive elbow hit, that's another thing that's good with Ivan, is that there's actually like a health cutoff when that actually activates. It's like 10 or 12 damage or something like that. Ivan has the most powerful attacks. I think his normal attacks are like 1.5 or something like that. When you use the Necro, I think it's like double, something like that. And it's basically a charge attack when he does that elbow. So if you get a lot of enemies and they're probably going to die, I think it does like 20 damage when you do the Necro, when you have that charge punch. Most enemies on normal are not really going to have more than like 20 health, 20, 30 health. Except the bosses. Here I did do something before where I was like reloading a checkpoint so I could get the Necro back. Here, there's certain enemies you need to kill to advance the sections, which is unusual. But they're basically the green shirts and the brown shirt zombie dudes or whatever. Typically, what I'm going to be doing throughout this run is I'm going to be trying to keep the Necro up as much as I can. Necro really cuts down the time. It just... it's great to have Necro as much as you can. However, sometimes, there are a lot of checkpoints, and I could just always use most of the checkpoints to, regain the Necro. But, there's a lot of times where it's actually slower. Because, it may cost, 8 to 10 seconds or something on some of these checkpoints. If you just, click start, reload, checkpoint. Well, and you can get some good luck when there's a guy that just, he's on the ground convulsing, and you just get more Necro, and that will be quite a bit faster than if you do actually reload a checkpoint. Here, I can't really figure out how this boss really works very well. It's very strange. I can't determine when he actually does certain movements, like sometimes he'll grab you, sometimes he'll smack you. Regardless, if you keep using the Necro and keep on him as much as you can, it goes by pretty fast. The lab has one section where there's an enemy on the left that will not appear, unlike that first section, if you move really fast. But, it happens so rarely. Whatever. So, anyway, the lab, I try knocking guys mostly to the left, so that instead of just flying off to the right and me not able to get any more Necro, they'll bounce off the wall to the left and convulse. That seems to work pretty well. This section here actually gives me a lot of trouble a lot of times because of those jump kicking guys. Very irritating units. The jail is one of these levels where you can have a lot of issues, because all the levels with the partner, like the ally, can screw you over pretty hard. Forget using friendly fire. Don't even do it if you care about time. It's not going to help you. It's only going to hurt you. They'll grab you and then not do anything. They're annoying enough. when friendly fire is off. Also, you know, with friendly fire on, you can have glitches where, you know, you're stuck. If you help them, like it happened to me like twice, I think, in this level. Where, you know, you're trying to heal them or whatever, and they just I don't know, like you heal them and then you can't move. The friendly fire has a lot of, like has quite a few glitches. It seems to work fairly well, I would think, if you actually like have another human instead of a CPU. But, you know, again here I'm trying to, you know, try to get that necro up. There's an auto scroller section later on, so I don't need, you know, full necro or anything of that sort. You can see how that ally can be kind of irritating, but, you know, you just have to kind of work him around him. He can, like, lure guys to you, and then when they try to hit him, the guys will, like, hit you. Like, specifically those old bums, those hobos. That is awful when that happens. There's a glitch here that can happen, too. If he's, like, on the ground, like, you know, like, dead. Like, if you're near there, you can, like, just go right through the door. It's kind of weird. I guess, like, the cutscene just kind of acts like he's not there, but the things don't actually work. Don't seem to work right. Here, it's just a necro section. Just, you know, just get your necro. Try to get guys to die and make it so they just pretend to attack each other, really. They do, but their enemy is you. Don't even bother trying to pretend otherwise. Like, they'll attack someone, then just blatantly just turn around and start hitting you. Or they'll just start following you. Even though, like, there's a cop right next to them. They should be fighting, but they're not. They're both walking towards you to kill you. Let me explain a little about the suplex. When you see guys that are, like, they have, like, a different kind of sprite where it looks like they're, you know, actually, like, really injured. If you do the suplex, then they'll almost always die. So that's kind of a way of, you know, reducing the time that you're fighting guys. But again, if the guy has, like, almost no health, like, if he's a really weak guy, it's probably not even worth doing the suplex. Or if they're in clumps. Because with these long arms, you can get multiple guys in with the with punches, which is also great with Ivan. There is actually a good reason for sometimes why you don't want to use Necro. I mean, yes, it's faster, but if you use Necro too much and then make it so that none of the other guys will give you Necro, then you're going to be screwed for a possibly harder part. So sometimes I may, like, be delaying things on the last guy slightly so that I can kill him and possibly get Necro. Guns are weird with Necro. They do more damage when you're in the Necro state. This boss I've never really been great on. But, like, there I made a mistake. I was just trying to dash and then fire, but I pressed the button a little too soon. You can, like, stun lock that guy, but I don't really know how to do it very well. I saw a video of someone doing it, but I don't understand really how to do it. So this is, this level's usually fairly consistent, unless you screw up, like, the boss really badly, or, the part in the gym area, or I don't know, it looks kind of like a gym, but there's a guy behind a desk and then you get the gun. That part can go wrong pretty badly. But, you know, it usually doesn't. What I kind of do as a backup strategy is that if I don't get any necro throughout the level, like sometimes I'm just gonna do a reload section when I know that there's a cutoff. Because there actually I should have been down a little bit. It would have saved like 2 seconds. These guys I hate. I hate these guys. Like this clump of enemies I despise. Because they're the kind that just, when you approach them from straight on, they will jump and kick you. And there's 3 of them that are spread out in the area. So you can't, it's kind of hard to approach them without getting kicked in the face. It's probably one of the only sections of the game where it was like that. There's a weird property with weapons. Let's say if I brought that gun into here and then reloaded the checkpoint, the weapon will still be here. It may be like on the ground, but it'll still be available. See, that's a part of like kind of a little bad luck there with the rabid druggy woman over there. Okay, so I'm just gonna go using Necro, trying to bust through that thing to get the gun or the rifle. Because you can do this much faster with the rifle, and those guys give me trouble. This part, you know, it's, even if you get hit, it's totally worth it to get that rifle and get over on the right side of the screen. The rifle has some odd properties where if you have like the rifle on the guy's head, or like on their body, like on their head, like right near them, it'll pretty much be like a one-shot kill unless they have a ton of health. I don't know if there's really any enemy that survives a headshot with the rifle on easy. Maybe on like the hardest mode they could survive. I don't know. I haven't played that mode enough. But yeah. Weapons are great when you can get them. But then again, getting some of the weapons, and you know, some of them are just slower, whatever. Like there's a funny weapon you can get in that jail. You can get a toilet roll and use that as a weapon, which I thought was very amusing. And a toilet bowl. Here, you want to kind of stay away from them a little bit. Kind of play it slightly safe. I missed there. But if you start getting jump kicked, you can just completely screw up the boss. Usually there you can do like bam, 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 and he'll be done. Ideally. But, you know. So, I hate this level. Just saying it up front. Because this level can go bad so quickly. There are just so many parts where you can just screw up horribly on this level. Those guys are irritating. If you do like what, punch, 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 then kick, or the other attack button, you end up doing like a belly punch, and that actually goes through the his block. But if you're too close, it like doesn't work, which like you saw there. I'm just using all the necro for that part because I'm just gonna once I get into that room on the right, I'm gonna just reload because you basically don't have to kill like 6 enemies. You don't have to do it. Just gets them away. Then you get all your necro back as well. And it gets rid of the chance that they won't all come into the room and then you can't continue. There is still a chance where, you know, they won't come in. But if you stay up, like near those containers and don't go down, you have a better chance of not having to like reload the section continually until they come. So that's like another little speed run obstacle. There's another reason why I hate this level. But doing Nat seems fairly consistent and got rid of all that nonsense. I'm just trying to kill these guys pretty quick here. Because those biker guys they can cause a lot of problems. Because when they do that punch, they're like pretty much like invincible from the front almost. They have a huge punch range. They are like, I think, the only enemy besides like just the bosses that could hit you from the front. And before you could hit them. So here what I'm doing is I'm getting the chainsaw and I'm using them on these guys. I'm trying to like gather them up. They don't really want to cooperate completely there. But still, I'll take that. That's quite good. And one even was giving me Necro, which is great. You don't need to pick that up and bring it over. It's weird. It like stays in. You can kind of see how it like goes along the screen with you. By the way, if you press start when those cutscenes are going, you can just skip them completely. And since I got Necro, I'm using it here, which, you know, cuts off time for sure. Then I run to the right to make sure that the bomb guy on the train on the top come. Because this section is like time. You have to wait. It doesn't really matter how fast you kill these guys. Just that you've killed them and they've thrown their 9 bombs or whatever it is. I probably shouldn't have thrown that bomb. I was actually trying to get Necro. Ended up getting some Necro, but it would have been nice to have a full charge. But it's good enough. It's kind of hard with the bombs, though. Yeah, you don't really want to get hit by those either. That's another irritating part about the train level. Let's say one of those guys smacks you into the bomb. You'll lose a large amount of health. And you really want to get your health on this level. It's not like some of those other levels where, you know, the bosses are pretty simple, pretty easy. You know, the boss for the train level kind of sucks in a way because there's a way of possibly killing him fast. Oh yeah, I used that. That's the like head crusher or whatever. I think it's like the red button. But I don't know. It's the alternate button that you have on the controller. It's like where you use items, but I don't know. It works on the conductors fairly well when there's like just one of them and they're causing a problem. See, again, I was trying to get that Necro, but then he threw the bomb right on the guy. But, it was still okay. These beat-em-ups are quite, there is an element to randomness in this game for sure. Sometimes there'll be like guys that are weirdly passive aggressive, like they'll be just out of range and just like go back and forth, or go up, or go down. So generally you just want to go to the guys if you can. Oh yeah, dashing dodges most attacks, including the syringes. Those syringes can be caught. I don't know how many people know about that, but they can be caught. It's just really, really difficult to do. I mean, it's weird that they would put in something that's kind of cool, like where you can catch items, but it's so difficult to do in most cases. It's kind of weird. Here, I think there's just a whole bunch of guys you have to kill. I don't know, you have to kill like 20 guys or some nonsense. It's kind of boring. That's another reason why I don't like this train level, because I get run over by the train a lot. Because I'm not that great at this part. And also how the train has like a larger, it has like a larger range than what you'd think. Like, let's say you'd think that like your feet are not on the track, so you'd think that the train wouldn't hit you, but it does hit you. See, I'm not really doing the best here. I've been getting hit a bit. On the train boss, you can like hit the guy. You can like go toe to toe with him in a way, and then try to keep him in a lane. And sometimes he'll stay in the lane and get run over by the train, even though you didn't use the flash bomb. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted, like, you know, extra health, because when you do that kind of stuff, he's gonna, you know, you're gonna get run over, because you have to be like hitting him while the train's coming. But I mean, it could be potentially really fast. Like there, I wanted to get that flash bomb, probably, but I was kind of scared because I don't really have that much health, and I didn't want to die. But that was a good train level for sure. This level's usually really consistent. The boss could, well, you know, if you don't do it correctly, you can lose a good amount of time, but it won't be too much. Maybe 10 seconds if you screw it up badly. But he's fairly consistent. This level's not really that bad. There's not a lot of parts that will screw you over. Like some of the other levels will have odd parts, like with that chainsaw on the train level. Like if you attack the door with the chainsaw while you're sliding, there's a chance where your guy will just freeze and then you have to restart. There's none of this in this level. None of that. And the train, there's another part where you can, like, if you're in if you're in like another part, like a certain position at the end of the level, the train will continue on, but there will be no train. And then you can't continue and you have to reload the checkpoint. So none of that here, which is nice. I'm getting the gun, you know, guns are good. Kinda. I screw up the targeting there. So I lose the gun. Oh well. It would be slightly faster if you do like a slide grab on this guy and then use the gun. I think it's like 1 second and a little bit faster. And I may not have reloaded here because I don't have any necro anymore. Gotta have necro, man. Got no necro, you move slow. But because that was such a fast reload, it may ended up being faster than normal. I mean, it certainly was, I guess, when I look at the time later. But that may have been why. It was like a couple seconds faster here than usual. Some of the guys don't really change that much when they're near death. You just see like a lot of blood on their face. Like they're one of those bouncer guys. That guy that's you know, whatever, helping you, he can really screw shit up. He is awful. I hate that unit. Like, if you thought the jail inmate was bad, this guy is awful. He can like grab you. He can grab the enemy and then just like not get off of the guy, or like grab him when he's off screen, or some weirdness like that. So then you can't attack the guy, and then he's like stuck there. Or if he grabs you, like he doesn't move off of you. Like there's some weird shit. Or maybe that was when I had like friendly fire on. Regardless, that unit is awful. What I was trying to do here by killing these guys was, for whatever reason, when you have the gun, and I screwed up there, I forgot to pick up the gun. When there's a guy in directly ahead, when you have the gun, like, you can't fire down on this boss. But, so I lost maybe, potentially, you know, maybe 2-3 seconds there. But that was a good club. That was a good club. This level is the worst as far as randomness goes. This is where I would reset normally if it doesn't go well. Apparently those figures in the background are from like another game they made, but I'm not familiar with it, or they made, or some other game, I don't know. See, I had really good necro drops here. This whole section with these guys is awful. I do not like this part because it's kind of like the train, but way worse. Where what you see isn't how it appears, and they come on screen far too quickly. Like, if they're in a single lane, they take up the entire lane, even though they're like a thin motorcycle. And then, like, if you knock them down, other guys appear. Stupid dog. And that was kind of unlucky where, like, you know, they come at twice. But I've had it where, like, I get knocked down, and then as I'm getting back up, another one hits me. Then I get up, and another one hits me. It's just... that part can go badly. And that was not a bad part at all. Even though I was getting hit. It's not bad. This is it. This is the part that depends if I reset or not. Because this part can go on for a full minute if you screw up. Like, if you don't do it right. I mean, potentially... I grabbed the grenade. But, I mean, the absolute fastest you could do this part, if you have amazing luck, is 15 seconds until, like, they stop and they throw the smoke screen stuff. But this is not bad. It's like, I don't know, what was it? Let me see. 16, I think it was like 40 something? So, I mean, like 30 seconds. They even gave me a grenade at the end, which I threw, which helps a lot. It makes this whole, like, smoke section much faster because it blows up a bunch of them. And that was that's an extremely good time for this point, 2:30. See, if you do it badly, like if that part doesn't go well, you could be like 3:15 before, like, until this auto-scrolling part even begins. So, I mean, that's the whole, that's the randomness of it. Like, if that part doesn't work well. The dogs here are weird. Like, only certain moves will hit them if they're attacking one of those ally units. What I was trying to do here is getting necro, as you can probably guess. Again, the rifle's weird, so, you know, it has to be touching them or right near them for it to actually, like, kill them in one hit. As long as I'm fairly quick on this and wiping them out, you don't really lose a lot of time at all. far as I know. There might be some other oddness. This game has a lot of subtleties on some of these parts. Like on that part with the riot police, if you're not like in the right quadrant of the map, they'll just like kind of keep walking until like the maximum amount of time progresses, and then they'll throw the smoke bombs. I was testing that, and that's how that works. That club boss could have gone really badly too. There's a potential glitch that I've had happen like twice, where if they use their hook to that, like they have a hook that like reel you in, and then they hit you with the butcher's knife. If you hit them at the same time, like a power hit or whatever, when they grab you, your character will freeze. So you have to wait until they get their fat ass up and go over and hit you to knock you out of the freezing animation. This can go badly, potentially. If you get hit, if you're near the tank, the weapon can go like out of range, and then you can't get the weapon. So then you really can't hurt the boss until one of them comes and drops like a rifle or something. That's a safe spot, I found. It's very, I find it very cool. I mean, there's another way of like going in between the jets, like or between the first and second. Like you kind of position yourself a certain way, but I can't do it consistently at all. And you know, it's just really not worth it to me for, you know, maybe 5 seconds to have to do the entire run over again, since I screw it up 1 out of like 5 times, or I screw it up like 4 out of 5 times. I'm just not good at that. This part can go badly. This is actually one of the hardest parts in the game, surprisingly, when I was testing. And I kind of screwed it up a bit, but they came back with the weapons, so I was kind of happy. So I get my shotgun. Again, with the weapons, they do more damage when you're in necro mode. The dogs can be incredibly irritating, but I've learned how to deal with them. I kind of screwed this part up a bit. It's a bit slower than I would like. But probably by actually, you know, I think maybe 5 to 10 seconds slower. On that thing, when that first opens, you have to kill the dogs. Otherwise, like, the guys on the left don't appear. Like those first 2 dogs. And you want to bring the shotgun, the other shotgun with you. You don't want to use all the ammo, because there's a knife guy here. Use the slide grab, and then you just shoot them in the face and they die in 1 hit. Otherwise, you have to punch them for like 10 seconds before they die. I don't know why they decided to give that one guy so much health. There's another one that has even more health. I use like kind of the same technique. Slide grab, shoot, face. You have to be careful of that shotgun guy. I'm putting the shotgun there later. Or for later, you'll see. I just used a lot of the guns because it's much faster to just kill these guys as soon as possible. But I want to leave that gun. I want to leave one weapon with at least 1 bullet. So, using Necro works pretty well here. Like, they just come in clumps and you just do the elbow and they can just die. It was unfortunate that guy grabbed me. You know, these zombie whatever hobo guys. They don't like playing around. See, I screwed up there, but whatever. Probably lost a couple seconds, but... See, now, Necro, shotgun, wait for the guy to do that. Bam, 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 bam. Bye-bye, stupid bear. If you, like, move around the directional and while pressing start, for whatever reason, the guy, like, appears twice on the screen. He can do that here, too. I was trying to have him appear. Like, he shoots himself twice. So I thought that was funny when I saw that, but I didn't get him to appear this time. So if you're paying attention to my splits there, it's looking pretty good. I mean, I'm already at 36 minutes and I'm on the last level. I mean, I think my usual was like 38 or over. So I'm like pretty happy with what's going on here. Trying not to screw it up. Again, the gun's usually much faster than anything else. Like some of these guys like playing keep away a little. You have to kind of like move away from this end of the screen. And that was an amazing necro drop right there. I usually never see that. Stupid guy was like, you know, blocking. I was getting upset. There's a cool glitch here, but I screw it up. But, you know, it saves maybe a second or two, but what I did anyway seemed to be just as fast. If you're throwing there's a clone that appears, and you can suplex him through the wall. Like, if I turn around without, like, really moving anything and suplex him, he can, like, go through the wall and start attacking the wall. But the wall went down pretty fast anyway, so throwing may actually be doing a lot of damage to that also. I was getting a little nervous if I screwed up the suplex. See, I'm trying not to use up my necro. And again, another lucky necro drop. Yeah, that guy. Like, he'll shoot you, like, he appears really fast and just shoots sometimes. This section makes me nervous because the section with the helicopter is long and it's easy to screw up. I think I even do screw up. I think I get shot and I almost die or something. But yeah, the helicopter does a lot of damage, and you want to like have him keep firing because they'll come from the like right and the left, and when you're trying to move the helicopter from those 3 windows, there'll be like time loss. Basically, if he's just moving around and not shooting and killing guys. Trying to keep him there. It gets harder as the enemies start moving faster, though. Oddly enough, if you jump while over that section there, then you won't take damage. So it's almost like the ground's exploding. There's like no bullets involved, it's just like the ground exploding. Like some of these guys can grab you, some of them can incapacitate you. See, here I just screwed it. But yeah, the guys are just appearing in mass now, so that works out fine. And I get my Necro again. Lots of Necro. Like, amazing Necro in this at the end. There's a glitch here where you can actually like jump over them, and then the fat guys may or may not appear. If they don't appear, then you're screwed. You can't get the other batch of enemies to appear later, and then you have to reload the checkpoint. So it's better just to hit the checkpoint. But you can make it where the fat guys will appear, but they like will be weirdly languish and just kind of like stand there while you hit them until a couple seconds pass, and then they react. That's a kind of dangerous the way that cutscene kind of works sometimes. And this is another glitch area. It's like one of the only harmful glitches I got, thankfully. It's a minor harmful glitch where the guy's like half on, half off of the edge of the screen. I can't get him. But yeah, if you don't move when that cutscene, if you're in an area where the cutscene doesn't, like sometimes your character won't move into the right position. You just appear like on the left side of the screen, where the SWAT guy comes in from the rope, and then they just kind of pin you on the ground and just hit you. So there's time loss with that. So I try to avoid doing that by spamming the slide if the character doesn't appear like in the cutscene like that before. This part you can end much quicker than you think you would, where there's all these guys. Because there is a door on the far right of the screen, and you'd think that would be where it would end, like where this cutscene would end, but it's not. You can end it much sooner. Like this, like, yeah, there. I'm not even at the door, but it'll just end. Like there's I guess it's like a cutoff there. And I am ready to go. I have full health, full Necro. I am ready for the boss, which is the final, possibly completely, like, it's a very random boss. Very random. It can go wrong very badly. The jump kick is not very reliable for that guy, for this guy. It's just because you can like be on the guy, like you can have your sprite like kind of neck right below him, jump up and kick, and it won't hit him. You have to be like moving towards him and then do the kick. You can also do a jump grab and then slam him into the ground, which is funny, because if you do it on the last hit, he like goes, you see more of the, like you go off the map, basically. It's pretty amusing looking. If you also slam him into the ground, you disappear from the cutscene. So there's a couple, cutscene glitches. It's also a little slower, because there he just goes down, he's on the ground, then he crawls back immediately. If you throw him, he like bounces up, then bounces back down, then he crawls over. See, I'm at the boss at 44 minutes and 30 seconds. I mean, I'm pretty happy about this. And this is where I'm like most nervous about this section here, because I've had it where they just totally screw you over. Like they'll appear right on you and stab you. They'll look like the clones, or they'll appear in the wall, then get hit, then fall down, and then there's no syringe that you have to throw. The wall has like, I don't know, like 15 health or something like that. I don't remember. But when it starts moving super fast, then you know it's nearly dead. If you use the taunt, you can also do a single point of damage, which is like the syringes. The syringes, when you throw them, do a single point of damage on this wall. They're actually like the second most one of the most like powerful types of weapons. The syringe, which is bizarre. See, there's a glitch where if you throw them across these arms, they you can actually hit both of like multiple of them and knock them up. But I had awful luck. They decided to go and smack all of my syringes, and the one I threw missed because for whatever reason they're like this huge, giant, thick arm, but you have to be exactly level with them to hit them. But I killed them fairly quickly, so it wasn't that bad. This part, you know, you can just run around. On the hardest setting, you won't really get away with doing this when he starts trying to do those lunge punches at you. You may have to jump while running to avoid that, but you can do it. But on easy, it doesn't matter. If you have those clones near them, they don't have a lot of health, so you can just kind of pop them off while on the boss, because the boss won't move. So it's just kind of like extra damage. So each time you do that, it's like 20 damage. And when there's like the cutoff of the health of the enemy, I think it's like 15 or 20. I forget. When you're in the necro mode, it will just activate and just kill the rest of their health and do that move. So, and that's the end. That's how you do that. I mean, that's a really good time. 47 minutes and 8 seconds. Non-Godmother, it's very good. I think it's it should be the world record as far as I know. I searched around, I didn't really see anything lower. In fact, I think the one that's closest to me that's not Godmother is like, I think it's like 54 minutes. So this is a pretty good improvement. And it's a bad ending because it's faster. If you don't use the Necro, you get the good ending on the boss. And thank you for watching.